everyone's going to be better than me. Everyone's going to look at me like I don't know what I'm doing or anything like that. And you start playing all these horrible situations in your head when really it's not. It's typically not like that. So, but John, what's number 2?
Social anxiety. That's a big one. I don't know if you can ever really get over that in jiu-jitsu, especially when it comes to competition. I think that's a big reason people don't want to compete. It's also, I mean, it's challenging if you're going to go into an environment like jiu-jitsu and you don't know anyone and you're just walking in the door and, you know, let's face it, not everyone is friendly. You know,
True.
A lot of people are private and, you know, they're introverts. So it's a real challenge to just go into an environment where you don't know anyone and you're about to, you know, struggle cuddle with them on the mat and do introductions. And that's a real challenge. You know, lately I've probably been doing a little bit of a disservice with new people. I used to be really outgoing and I'd go introduce myself. And I probably got a little jaded over the years because nobody stuck around. So it was like you were doing it like every class. And I'm going to get better on that. But I think everyone's going to understand when you show up and you're brand new. And for the most part, they're all going to treat you well.
Yeah.
And help you out with your first couple classes.
Yeah, the anxiety is real. The walking in that door the first time is a very, very scary thing. But you have to give yourself a pat on the back because 1, you got in the car.
Yeah, that's
2,
true.
You got out of the car. 3, you walked in the door. And then 4, you stood there and talked to someone about the possibility of joining. So the anxiety is real. And I I still get it. I don't, when we go to other schools or other academies, you know, you have this anxiety of how are these people going to perceive me? How are they going to treat me? Who's going to like try to beat me up? Is there going to be like a proving ground going on when I get on the mat and try to roll with these people? These are all real things. And you can't let your anxiety control you. I have social anxiety. I have anxiety. I'm claustrophobic. Jiu-jitsu has really helped with my claustrophobia. It kind of sounds contradicting, but you know, when it's probably because I put myself in such uncomfortable situations all the time that my claustrophobia has kind of really taken a backseat. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it does happen. Sometimes I still have like these like slight panic attacks and whatnot, but it's definitely helped me quite a bit. Another thing that, you know, that can be intimidating is if you're a shy person, you know, you're self-conscious, you, like we mentioned in the last one, you have these physical constraints or you're out of shape or whatever, right? That could cause a lot of social anxiety when thinking about, I'm going to walk into this academy. Everyone's going to be better than me. Everyone's going to look at me like I don't know what I'm doing or anything like that. And you start playing all these horrible situations in your head when really it's not. It's typically not like that.
No, not at all. And, you know, when you show up, if you're worried about rolling or any of that, like I said, you can always talk to your partner. You can let them, hey, man, this is my first class. I don't know what I'm doing. I've had them tell me that. And I'm like, hey, no problem, man. Let's just work on what you went over in class and, you know, basic stuff, work on your guard or you know, I'll let them get in mount. I mean, they're going to do whatever it takes to help you out, make you comfortable.
Yeah. People have been there. And I think that's the thing that new practitioners underappreciate is like, because everyone says oh yeah, I was there, we've been there, but honestly they have, like, you can't take that for granted. Like we've all been there. Like no one comes into jiu-jitsu day one as a black belt. Like you're not going to know everything, you're not going to know everyone, you're going to be intimidated by higher belts, you're going to be shy, you're going to be self-conscious, especially when, you know, you start rolling with a higher belt and, you know, you feel like, oh, maybe they're gaming with me a little bit.
They're just laying there. Yeah.
You know, you're going to see these people that you feel, you know, they're intimidating. And I still feel that way, right? When people walk in, I mean, not necessarily anymore. Now, if I see like a black belt walk in, I'm like, holy crap, it's a black belt. Like, I want to roll with this guy. I want to see if he could beat the crap out of me, how bad he does. You know what I mean? So the social anxiety is real, but you just can't let it control you and stop you from joining or going to class, you know?
Oh yeah, like I mean, I'll still get it. Like if they even mention promotions or testing or any of that stuff, like, you know, we're like 5 years in at this point.
Yeah,
I'm not even going. Like, you know, I get it. Like, you know, you'll still get anxiety, especially, you know, if they're talking about testing, which We don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
But,
thankfully.
that used to cause a ton of anxiety.
Yeah, and it's like Mike, he talked about, how jiu-jitsu has helped with his like depression, anxiety, exposure therapy. I feel like the mental side of jiu-jitsu is probably, you start off thinking it's going to be all the physical side of you that is gaining from doing jiu-jitsu, but honestly, it's almost like, I'm going to say 70-30. No, probably 60-40 of mental versus physical.
Oh, mental 100%. You'll see it at work. If I have to get up and talk in front of a bunch of people, or, I had a job interview a few months ago or whatever, I'm like, that ain't nothing. Like, I'm like, that ain't shit. Like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for years. Like, this stuff is not even remotely as challenging as the jiu-jitsu is. Cake.
Yeah, people talk about like you gain, once you start training, you gain this confidence of like when you walk into a room and you're like, I'm gonna be the hardest person to kill in this room. I mean, it's kind of like douchebaggy, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's true. Like if it feels good, knowing that whether male or female, you're probably gonna be the hardest person to fight in the room. You know what I mean? And you expose yourself to getting your butt kicked all the time, and and all these other aspects of life are so trivial, and it doesn't really matter. Your anxiety goes away, your self-consciousness kind of goes away, you become a little more extroverted instead of introverted. Prime example, Charles was extremely introverted when we first started. He didn't even want to like bump fists with people. He wanted nothing to do with their personal space. He wanted no one in his personal space. And then now he's like trying to roll with everyone. He's like, I want to spar. And his confidence is just shot through the roof. So if you're just starting and you have that anxiety, it goes away. You just got to give it time.
Yeah, I think it's really what we're getting down to is survival. Once you survive jiu-jitsu, you feel like you can survive anything, whether that be, like you said, job interviews or whatever. Like, that confidence is just there.
Yeah, it radiates into your entire life. Hell, your significant other might be like watching you got a little bit more swagger in your walk.
You'll start going to sleep, putting your pillow in holds. Like, just the way it is.
I wrist lock my kids now, my babies, my wife. She'll be like standing there, and I'm like, baby, I could just blow your knee out right now. You don't even understand. It's like there's all these memes. It's like the people at the wallflower at the party, and it's like these people don't even understand. I'm a 2-stripe white belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's no more hugging now. It's just grips and pulling.
Yeah, yeah. You're always fighting for the underhook. It's like,
it's just the way it is.
I lay in bed now and I'm like, I have like my arms in tight, I'm sleeping with like ready to post on people if they're trying to come into side control. You just look at life differently. What's so funny too is when we first started, you learn how to switch your hips when you're on the ground. Bro, I don't know if it happened to you, but when I first started, if I was laying in bed and I wanted to roll over, it wasn't a slight rollover. It was I switched my hips to like.
That's true.
It just radiates into the rest of your life. You'll be saying "us," like randomly out in the real world. People start looking at you. They'll be like, "Hey, give me fist bumps." You're like, and then you go to like take them down or something like that. So, but the anxiety goes away. Kind of, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but don't let it control you. It won't go away entirely, but you'll be a lot better at controlling it.